Hi, I'm Deb from Mom of Three Girls and Just Casting On. I'm here. I'm a little nervous. I haven't really done much vlogging before, but it is day 5 of the second annual Knit and Crochet Blog Week, and we have been asked to do something a little different, a little out of the ordinary. As the clock goes. So this is what I've decided to do. Instead of writing about and showing pictures of the things that I've knitted, I thought I would show you on video a couple of the things that I've made recently. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is the pair of gloves that I made. I made these this winter. Here's the first one on one side, and then it's a convertible glove with the flap. I'll try this one on here and show you. It is fingerless gloves and then has the hand flap that comes over so that you can keep your fingers warm and then still have them to use when you want to. I made these mainly back from Black Friday when I was sitting out in the cold waiting for stores to open, trying to use my phone and having to take the entire glove off in order to use my phone, and then my whole hand was freezing. So these were kind of my solution to that, so that I can still use my phone, still have my fingertips available for my iPhone, and still keep the rest of my hands warm. I made these out of the mini mochi or mochi yarn. It is 2 different dye lots, as you can see. There's each one of them. The one dye lot on this glove, which was the first one I made, is a little bit brighter than this dye lot, although I was actually quite surprised at how well I was able to get the colors themselves to match up, which is kind of hard to do with this yarn. But I still like them. They still look great. I don't think unless you held them right next to each other that you're really going to see the dye lot difference. The second thing I wanted to show you is my first pair of socks that I made on Magic Loop. This is sock here. I just brought one of them. It's a pretty basic sock. It's a knit purl ribbing pattern on the top along the front here, and then it's just your basic heel flap, heel turn, foot. It's called a winter sock. It's made with worsted weight yarn, so it is a little bit thicker. It's hard to fit like in a shoe, but it was really soft and warm this winter for my feet. Especially since we had such a cold winter. So I think I'm going to try and make another couple pairs of these before next winter for myself. My current knitting project, this is my knitting bag, is another pair of socks. This time this is going to be for my daughter. Back to sock yarn. I'm still using Magic Loop. And this sock is called a chevron pattern. You can kind of see a little bit here. And then the heel was a little bit different on this sock. If you turn it this way, you can kind of see. It's called a forethought heel, and basically what it involved was putting on a provisional cast on and then knitting the separate heel section, doing the decreases, and then using the Kitchener stitch to fasten it at the end, and then rejoining the yarn from the provisional cast on in order to keep going on the foot. It was quite a bit of a challenge. I actually was rather intimidated by it to begin with, but now that I've done it once, I don't think it was really all that bad. And the heel, we'll see when the sock's done, but I tried it on my daughter right after I had the heel part finished, and it did fit her, so that's at least a plus. So that's the sock there. The pattern for that sock is out of this book, Sensational Knitted Socks, and it is one of the patterns that she gives near the end of the book specifically for self-striping yarns. This is the pattern. It's the chevron pattern for self-striping yarns. I adapted the pattern a little bit. In this book she gives a pattern for double-pointed needles and also for 2 circulars, and I've adapted it for the Magic Loop. I haven't, I like the Magic Loop better than the double-pointeds. I've done a couple pairs of socks on double-pointed needles, and the Magic Loop is so much easier. I have not tried the 2 circulars yet, but that's definitely a technique that I want to try out as well. After this pair of socks, though, I think my next challenge will be to learn how to knit 2 socks at the same time, because this pattern's a bit intricate, and it's taking me longer than I really had planned on to get this sock done. And so having to start and knit a whole second sock, I'm kind of facing second sock syndrome. Thankfully, I have an 8-year-old who will not let me put off making her second sock, but I'm not probably going to enjoy it as much as I am this first sock. And speaking of children, that's my 5-year-old behind the camera, who's not supposed to be making any noise. Hi, Becca. So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. I have a few other ideas for vlogging, one of which is that I knit left-handed. I don't know if you can tell by the way, normally Magic Loop would go this way. I hold it this way. I knit left-handed, and one thing I've discovered is that it's hard to find, when I'm looking for videos for how to do new and different techniques, almost all of them are right-handed knitters who are demonstrating things. So one thing that I'd like to do is, at least for the techniques that I know fairly well, to try and do a series of videos for left-handed knitters. So if I have a chance to get that first one done today, I will attach it to the end of this video. If not, it will be coming soon, so watch for that. I hope you've enjoyed this week of daily blog posts for the second annual Knitting and Crochet Blog Week. There's a couple more days left, so stop back and happy knitting!